Hey, what's up, my friend? Today I'm going to reveal my exact trading routine and process, right, that allows me to trade less than 20 minutes per day and still be able to capture big moves like this in the market. Sounds good? Let's get started. Okay, my trading routine can pretty much be broken up into two parts, right? I have the routine for the weekend and the routine for a weekday. So let me first, right, talk about the weekend routine. So for the weekend routine, right, what I do primarily on the weekend is to actually identify potential trading setups for the week ahead, right? This is where my price action analysis, my discretionary trading skill set comes into play. And just to walk you through it, one of the setup that I look for consistently is this. So I like to reference the higher time frame structure. So let's say this is the weekly. Okay, it's just an example. Let's say this is the weekly, and the market comes into, let's say, the resistance, right, on the weekly time frame somewhere about here. Then what I like to do is to go down into the lower time frame. This could be, the 4-hour, the 8-hour, or sometimes even the daily, depending on the price action itself, and look for a valid trading setup. So a valid trading setup, one that I usually like to look for is what I call the false break. Right, market goes up, comes down, and comes back up here. This highs, breaks above the highs, but fail to break out higher and then suddenly reverse and close back below this swing high, right? So you can even call this, I won't call this a double top, right, because it's not completed yet. So at this point in time, this is what I call a false break because the price took out this highs but couldn't continue higher and reverse closing back below resistance. Then I like to go short, stops the distance above the highs. First possible target usually just before this recent swing low over here. So this is a typical setup that I look for week after week. Okay, and of course the key thing to look for is for the price to be near a key price structure over here on the weekly time frame. So let me just walk you through an example of how it looks like on the chart. So if you look at this one over here, right, one example that I'm looking at for this potential setups for this week, as you can see, is the pound New Zealand. So I'm just going to highlight over here. You can see the pound New Zealand over here on the weekly time frame. The price is at this key area of resistance. So let me just draw this area for you over here. Okay, so this is a key level that I am paying attention to because it's a area of resistance on the weekly time frame. Next, I then go down to a lower time frame to kind of like fine-tune my entry to get a smaller stop loss, so that improves my overall risk to reward on the trade, right? Why I don't trade off the weekly time frame, because I'm not a weekly time frame trader, and if you trade off the weekly time frame, your stop loss is usually larger, right? And with a larger stop loss, your risk to reward is usually not as attractive. So this is why I utilize multiple time frame analysis to get a better entry, a tighter stop loss. So in this case, let's say I go down to the 4-hour time frame. This is what I'll be looking at. So on the 4-hour time frame, you can see, right, a few price structure is forming. So this is an area of resistance I'm seeing on the 4-hour time frame. So now I know the big picture. I'm currently right now at this area of resistance on the weekly time frame. D market in this gray box over here, pretty large area of resistance. On the 4-hour time frame, the market has shown me that it got rejected off this price, right, recently. So I'm looking for the price to head up higher. Okay, if it breaks above this highs, okay, I'm not going to go long just because it breaks above the highs. Instead, I'm looking for a false break, for it to break above the highs and then quickly reverse and close back below resistance. When that happens, I'm looking to go short, stops the distance above the highs, right, and first possible target just before this area of support. Okay, so this is one of the trading setups that I look for each and every week. It doesn't mean that the weekly time frame must only be in a range to trade it, because you can use the same concept, right, and also trade it when, let's say, the weekly time frame is in an uptrend, right, coming to an area of support. So for example, let's say the weekly time frame is in an uptrend and it come towards this area of support on the weekly time frame. Again, you can use the same concept that I've just shared with you, right, go down to a lower time frame and look for a false break setup, right, near this area of value on the weekly time frame. So I'm not going to go into too much details because this video here is more about my trading routine and not explaining trading strategies and whatnot. So once I've actually identified this potential trading setup for the week, I'll look through my entire watch list, right, of all the different currency pairs I'm looking. This is the stock markets that I'm looking, and what I like to do is I like to highlight the symbol in blue. So for example, over here I put it here in blue. This is in blue. You can see over here, in my forex, pound against New Zealand, right, this one here is in blue as well. Dollar against the Indian rupee is in blue. So this week, so this means, right, that every trading day that happens, right, the following week, right, I just need to pay attention to those symbols in blue because those are the ones that have trading setups that could possibly happen soon. Okay, you've just seen my weekend routine. Now, what about the weekday? Weekday one is simple. So for the weekday, what I do is I simply check the charts, right, every few hours for a valid entry trigger. I already know which markets I want to focus on because they are highlighted in blue as I've shared with you earlier. So for a weekday, every few hours I just check the charts, right, to see if there's any trading setup, any trigger. If there isn't, I just move on and carry on with my life, running the business, YouTube, etc. So that pretty much sums up, right, for my own discretionary price action trading, right? At the same time, I'm also a systems trader, and right now, I want to share with you, right, how I do my systems trading process in less than 10 minutes per day, right, and still allows me to generate a yearly source of income. So let's get started. Now, to pull it off, right, I need a few tools to help me with it, right? And don't worry, I will explain to you what these tools are and even give you a walkthrough of how I actually use these tools step by step. So first tool I use is Norgate data. What this does is actually allows me to download all the end of day data, right, for the markets that I'm trading, like the forex, commodities, stocks, etc. So it downloads all this data at the end of the day. So once I have the data, I can then put it into Army Broker. This is my backtesting platform, right, that I do my backtesting and to run the daily scans to get the signals each day. So from Army Broker, it gives me all the signals, what to buy, what to sell, hold, etc. Next, right, once I have the signals, I then use the Excel to simply calculate my position size, like how many shares to buy, how many units of currency to go long, etc. And once I know what's my position size, then I just upload those orders into my brokerage platform, which is Interactive Broker. So let me walk you through step by step how all this 4 component comes together. Okay, now let me walk you through this entire process, right, so you can see or understand the magic behind it, right? So first and foremost, remember, I'm going to use Norgate data to download the data from the previous day. Just click check for updates. This usually takes like, less than a minute or so. So I'll fast forward this video, right? Oh, it's already done. Okay, so actually I updated it earlier, so that's why it's a bit faster. So this is done. Once this is done, I'm going to get rid of the screen and pull up this program called Army Broker, which I've shared with you earlier. So I'm going to, and there it is, it's out over here. So let me just walk you through a system that I trade. So just to walk you through Army Broker, what you're seeing here on the left are all the different so-called code, right, that I trade the different trading systems. Some is stocks, some is futures, some crypto, etc. So what I'm going to do is to, let's say for the mean reversion trading system, I'm going to just open this up. Just make sure, reset everything, make sure all the settings are correct. I trade the Russell 1000, so make sure here's Russell 1000. I click OK, and I'm going to click backtest. What's going to happen is that this program is going to show me every single trade, right, that occurred from the year 2000 to where we are right now in 2023, and the system will spit out every single trade, the entry, the exits, right, in a matter of minutes, right? So I'm running this now as I'm speaking. I might fast forward this a little bit, right, so you don't have to wait too long, okay? And there you have it, right? So you can see every single trade. So for example, PAYX, right? Oops, sorry, PAYX since 3rd of January, right? This was a trade that was triggered. It tells me that it lost 0.66% for this particular trade. So all the way down, right, to where we are right now, to today, okay? So today, right, it tells me I need to exit this trade, FSLR and WWE. I need to enter these 2 new trades, ATVI and 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to thirdly use my Excel spreadsheet to calculate my position size. So I have a Excel spreadsheet that helps me with it. There you have it, right? This is the Excel spreadsheet. This helps me calculate my position size pretty quickly. So I'm going to pull out the orders for the day as well. Also send via Excel to me. So you can see these are the same 4 orders I shared with you earlier. So what I'm going to do is to actually copy this, right? This is the buy orders for the day. I need to know how many shares to buy. So I'm just going to Control C and paste here, Control V. Okay, I already done it previously, right? You can see. So I need to buy 959 and 1228. Okay, so I'm going to paste here. So this tells me that for today, I need to buy 959 shares of ATVI and 1228 shares of number 4. Not number 4 of this stock, right? Symbol 4. Now, what about the sell position, right? So this is where I refer to my brokerage account, Interactive Broker, and see how many positions I have right now for those 2 stocks. So this is Interactive Broker. I go to account over here, and these are pretty much all the different accounts that I'm trading. The P&L right now up about $43,000 unrealized profit. But for this system, it's under this sub account, right? So I'm going to look for FSLR. I'm holding 388 of this, and WWE 775. So what I'm going to do is to put in 388 and 775, right? Just to make sure I double check is correct. So usually, yep, this is correct. Because if it's not correct, you put in additional, and I might end up shorting the stocks instead of, exiting it completely. So once this is done, okay, I'll click save, right? I know I will be selling these 2 stocks at this number of shares and buying these 2 stocks at this number of shares and at this price. So what I'll do next is to actually upload these orders into Interactive Broker, and it takes you like less than 3 seconds. Let me show you the magic. So they have this tool, right, called Basket Trader, which is what you're seeing over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to literally just choose the Excel spreadsheet with my orders, this one. All comes up, click transmit, click yes, boom. done, right? I need to enter a price. Sometimes there's a bug over here. Let me just enter the price, okay? So it says that the price that I'm looking to enter is 78.17. So I'm eating my own words now. It's not exactly 3 seconds. And this is at 61.05. Sometimes, you know, interactive broker has this issue. So I click transmit, I'm done. Usually, this 2 figures is automatically uploaded in, but don't know why today just a bit wonky, yeah? So this is the entire process, right, of how I do my systems trading on a day-to-day basis. As you can see, it takes less than 10 minutes per day. Now, if you want to learn more about systems trading and how you can actually use such trading methodology to help you generate another source of income in less than 10 minutes per day, then I'd like to invite you to this upcoming webinar called Stock Trading Secrets. I'll put the link somewhere below this video, or you can just go to tradingwithrayner.com/STS and get started. So just fill up this form over here, and our next webinar is sometime in June, right? So I'll invite you. And don't worry, I host this webinar once every month on average. So if you miss this event, there's probably a future one. Just come to this page and I'll put the latest date for it as well. So during this event, I'll share with you a simple stock trading system that has generated 3,225% over the last 22 years. I'll share with you how to generate consistent profits almost every single year, even during a recession, and how you can grow your account, right, to 7 figures and beyond, even if you have a small starting capital, and all this fun stuff. So again, the link is somewhere below this video, right? Click on it, sign up, and I will talk to you soon.